Hello and welcome to AfriDominion. I am Freeman Singirankabon. Thank you so much for tuning into our program today. And for those of you joining us live for the first time, welcome. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to join our program today. Please be sure to subscribe to our content regardless of which platform that you are using. By subscribing, where you receive, subscribe, share, and follow. And make sure that you share this conversation with the rest of your peers, friends, and families. And we also want you to make sure that if you want to get in touch with us while we're having this conversation, you have our contact information, especially that we'd love to have this conversation as an interactive conversation. Be sure to jot down our contact information. Our main email is info@afridominion.com, info@afridominion.com, and the main website is www.afridominion.com. And if you'd like also to get in touch via our phone number, let me make sure that I give you the phone number as well. It is plus 240 626 7268, plus 240 626 7268. And with that in mind, guys, welcome. Today we are Tuesday, July 12th, 2025, and here at our studio it is 12:32. Apologies for a little bit of late in the starting of our broadcast, as we're still taking care of some technical difficulties behind the scene. Nevertheless, I want to wish every single one of you guys a very, very, very happy Tuesday today. So guys, I'm not gonna take too long today. We want to make sure that we jump right into the conversation of today, and the conversation, it is going to literally cover the pre-trial of Victoire Ingabire. For those of you guys who do not know who she is, she's one of the prominent political opponent within Rwanda who's being publicly humiliated and persecuted. She's been persecuted back and forth for many years. But now it seems like the government decided to take her back to the court for all kinds of charges, which we are going to be reading momentarily. But one of the biggest alarm that's spoken through is her physical being. It is reported that she's being mistreated. To put it mildly, she's being. Some cases it is said that she's being beaten and tortured. Especially that today she was seen limping while she was getting out of the detainee van going to the court. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is becoming beyond bearable. What is happening in Rwanda when it comes to the treatment of every single person who may not necessarily speak the language that the government wants to speak. And we also want to make sure that while there is a freedom of speech and expression, but also personal security is respected. It is very difficult to imagine where a government can be criticized, where, without literally beating the people, without causing harm to the people. And we continue to see that throughout Rwanda, in and out. And before I can jump right in the main conversation of today, guys, we actually had about 3 topics that we wanted to discuss, but it appears that the Victoire Ingabire news became a little bit more dominant, such that we took some liberty to talk about it, especially that we are running out behind the schedule. So I want to make sure that we actually we talked about it right quick before we move right on. So what has happened today? For those of you guys who do not know Victoire Ingabire, she's one of the political opponents in Rwanda. She's been imprisoned for several years, and then she was given pardon by the president. And beyond that, she became she literally got house arrested immediately after she was released from the from the pardon by the presidency. And ever since then, she's being harassed on a daily basis. And now, guys. She had just been rearrested over trumped up charges. Now, We want to read you guys some of the some of the trumped up charges that have been speculated versus what's being spoken of. She's been accused of forming armed groups. She's been accused of conspiracy to undermine the government. She's been accused of spreading false information and harmful propaganda to incite hostile international opinion against Rwanda. She's been accused of planning activities intended to incite public disorder, and she's being accused of having links to a broader conspiracy case involving party members and journalists. Guys, literally, this lady has had every other charges ever since she's been ever since she arrived to Rwanda. Now, officially speaking, the prosecutor requested today that that the government detains her for 30 days. Imagine, guys. For 30 days, they want her to stay behind the trial so she can experience some torture, so that she can experience the discomfort that comes along with the treatment while you are being housed into the into the jail or the prison. Now, it is so shameful to see what is happening. Not to mention that she has been refused her choice, her lawyer of choice. One of the lawyers that's supposed to be with her from Kenya has been refused to enter Rwanda, to basically, to come in and be in her corner against her will, by the way. Now, with all the international eyes on Rwanda, the court decided that they were not going to bring out the verdict today. So it said that on the 18th, they are going to read out what's going to happen, the fate of Victoire Ingabire. And I want the Rwandese youth, to pay attention to what is happening right now. For the past 30 years, the government has mastered the art of literally muzzling everybody. The art of silencing everyone who doesn't sing the narrative that the government wants him to sing. The people like Victoire Ingabire and those who have been, those who have been in jail for so many years are some of the key members of Rwandese community. You may call it the opponent of the Rwandese status quo, who have literally been in and out of jail. And those who never got a chance to be in a jail, they were either they were disappeared, tortured, killed, and literally, like, they completely they disappeared out of Rwanda. And it is so disheartening to see that for a country that claims that it has progressed, it still keeps its people from having the freedom of expression, the freedom of opinion, even though the Constitution claims to give the citizens and everyone in Rwanda the ability to speak freely. But we know that the days where such treatment are coming to an end. We know that what we are witnessing today cannot stay for so long in Rwanda. It is just not possible. The government has become weak. It's weakened by the way it's treating its people. Especially now we have Gen Z and Gen Y who do not necessarily subscribe to the government narrative, and they're not afraid of it. But there should never be a reason why a citizen should be afraid of its own government. After all, the power of the government is given by the people. Why should the people continuously be afraid of the same government that claims to be working on behalf of the people? So, we see this trial as a sham trial, because everything that's done in the trial is being literally commanded from behind the scene. Money is being wasted on a court that's already been decided. But there is good news out of this. They always say that, let me use an analogy of an animal. They said that you can scare a dog, and eventually the dog runs out of fear. Rwandese people have been scared for the past 30 years. That eventually the people are waking up, fearless. Even though most people, they've been multiple incidents where people lost their lives. The police brutality, the security organs literally killing the people, unaliving the people. In some instances publicly. All of which is literally part of what is happening in the country right now as we speak. And it is so disheartening to see that in 2025, an average person cannot freely speak. Guys, even if you do not agree opinion-wise, at least have the freedom of expressing your different opinion without being harmed physically, without being taken to jail, without being tortured, without being literally dehumanized from the eyes of the public. And all those things are happening right now to the likes of Victoire Ingabire. We have several other activists who've been in jail for so many years. And most of them, they are so afraid to even show them publicly because of such a heightened mistreatment of those individuals. And we've been taking some time to report on some of them, but we realize that oftentimes, anytime we talk about some of these individuals, their well-being becomes worsened from within the jail. I give you guys, an example. If you guys remember Chuma, he was one of the he's a journalist, one of the journalists who was arrested and then imprisoned for having allegedly spoken against Rwanda. This young man has been abused from within a jail, that up to this very day, he personally said that he doesn't even know if he can have children. He's been beaten, abused multiple times, including refusal to have a decent meal. If he's not being beaten, he's being literally, there are some abuses we cannot just mention on television because this thing have become just a norm. And not only that, you have people who speak publicly, literally who speak publicly against all that is happening, but they also end up in jails. If you guys remember Idamange, Idiamugwiza, she's also one of the prominent ladies who's spoken highly against the mistreatment of the people in Rwanda. She's also been abused, tortured, denied access to medicine, denied access to female hygienic products. The worst kind of treatment you can imagine she's receiving, and she's been receiving it. We used to advocate for her, but it made things worse for her. It literally made things worse for her. To the degree that families and those close to her no longer bother checking in with her. And this is the democracy that we're talking about in Rwanda. And you also remember the prominent Karasila Aimable. Guys, if you see what he looks like today, he looks like those people in one of those African nations where the people are extremely skinny because of malnourishment. Just like these other three, he's tortured, mistreated, continuously, denied food, denied money, denied access to medicines, denied access to legal counsel. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. You guys remember the old man Deo Mushahidi. He's also one of the he used to be literally the darling of the RPF until he decided to speak against the other stuff that's not publicly spoken. And he was excommunicated as well. He's been in jail for in prison, not even jail, for several years. He looks skinny, extremely pale, as you can imagine, because of the same mistreatment that never stops. Guys, it is so sad what is happening in Rwanda, especially when you realize the very people care less. And this way of treatment to the people, it is so disheartening. And right now, you guys know, for those of you who are not aware, there is so much happening in the Eastern, in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda, where wars are literally hovering around the whole entire Great Lakes region. And Rwanda is right in the midst of it all. And we've been saying enough with these wars, enough with these wars, enough with these wars. And recently, as you guys know, I believe it was this past June on the 27th, if my memory serves me correct, there were agreements between Rwanda and the DRC where they decided that wars was going to stop. But it was not their wish. They were forced to stop the war by Washington. In Doha today and this week, they have been attempting to negotiate a peace deal between M23 and the government of the DRC. And guys, I also want to bring it to you that not only we have instability within the Great Lakes region, but we also have an issue of FDLR and M23. And we wanted to actually talk about this, except that we just do not have a whole lot of time. And because of that, I want you guys to marinate on a few things. We have been told that M23 controls the entire eastern part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, especially the parts that borders Rwanda and the DRC. Can you explain to me how FDLR is still able to infiltrate and cause harm to Rwanda today? That's one of the other thought process or other thought that I would like you guys to think about. We have so much instability politically, but also we have wars. These wars are being literally influenced by several things, including minerals. One of the biggest reasons why we have these wars is because minerals. If it's not political, it's economic. And guess what? People are dying indiscriminately. Literally, people are being unalived on many occasions. If you're not being unalived, you're being imprisoned. If you're not being imprisoned, you're literally being disappeared, like completely off the mark. And we are saying that this has to stop, guys. This has to stop. Why is it an African child has to continuously experience these forms of slavery? Africans everywhere, we are struggling to better ourselves. We are struggling to develop ourselves. Yet you have leaderships all over Africa that is literally maintaining the modern slavery. You may not have open shackles physically, but you can see the shackles within the systems of Africa, the government, the leaderships. And we want to see all of this gone, guys. We definitely want to see all of this gone. So it is so sad what is happening today, especially that the international community is watching. They're watching, but nothing can be said. Victoire Ingabire and those who are literally being abused by the Rwandan government daily. And we say abuse, there are evidence of what's happening. It is regrettable that this is happening in 2025 and it doesn't stop. And it's being glamorized. How do you become accused? Allegedly, and be put in jail at the same time? This lady has vowed to never leave the country until there is peace. And today they say that, because of a strong case, that she may flee the country. Imagine, guys. Imagine. I think the fear is so grave that anything that can detract what is happening in the country has to be utilized in one way or the other. Because what we see today, we see literally when you're just deflating. The nation is deflating. Rwanda is deflating. The legal system is deflating. And it continues to deflate. But real people, citizens, are dying in the midst of it. They are becoming unalived. Others are being imprisoned. Others are literally being disappeared. And all of us were watching, quietly watching. Activists no longer speaks. The many activists who used to speak, they just don't want to be bothered by that no more. Very few of them are speaking publicly, but the majority no longer want to have anything to do with it. Why? They got tired. Others, they were bought off. Others, they're no longer interested. Guys, the struggle continues. The struggle continues. And it is literally a duty of every single Rwandese person, every single Burundian, every single Ugandan, every single Tanzanian, every single DRC citizens, and those who love this Great Lakes region, that we all fight for not only peace, but also stabilities and good leadership within all the entire Great Lakes region. If we don't have stability, there will be wars. With wars, people will continue to perish. Guys, in the Great Lakes region, more than 20 million people have already perished. 10 plus million only in the DRC. And the rest of the region combined, they add up to the numbers. And we are talking about right now is 2025 and it continues. What is this, guys? This is one of those things that you talk about and it's just and it just irks you. It just makes you feel funny from within yourselves. Guys, we know that leadership comes and go. Leadership comes and go. There's never a single government that will stay forever. And RPF is not going to stay forever either. There has to be a government that is for the people, by the people and for the people. All the people, not just very specific groups. And when we dare speak publicly like this, we are called all kinds of names. Literally, all kinds of names. But I want to encourage all of you young people to take notes of what is happening. You've noticed that it's no longer about older people. Now the ages have come down to like the 40s, 30s, and 20s. You no longer have to be in Interahamwe. You no longer have to be a genocide denier. Those are all kinds of names that they call everyone who critically speak up. We know that that's the MO right now. But despite all of that, there is a need for us to literally have that unified arm against injustices in the Great Lakes region, against injustices in Rwanda and the neighboring countries, guys. So those of you guys who support the likes of Victoire Ingabire, Kalasila Imab, Idamange, Idam Gwiza, Deo Mushahidi, and so on, please speak up and don't be tired. This is our lives, guys. If it's not yours today, it'll be your children tomorrow. If it is not your children, it will be your grandchildren the day after tomorrow. And the cycle will continue. And we don't want that this cycle continues this way, guys. It is so sad. It is extremely sad that Ingabire has all kinds of trumped-up charges against her. Literally, they are manufacturing charges against her right now. Adding some beating to it, some abuse, physical abuse. Today it was reported that she was limping going to the court. You can imagine where that came from. We already knew that something were happening ever since she was arrested. But now it shows physically. All for what, guys? All for what? Because you want to scare the people? Enough is enough with this, for real. Enough is enough with this. Now, we also know that for those of you guys who haven't heard, she was denied, her chosen legal counsel. We reported last week that she had wished to have representation by one of the prominent Kenyan lawyer, and her name was Emily Osiemo, and Emily was denied over some political scores between Rwanda and Kenya. And all of that is part of the reason why the system is crumbling down, guys. You cannot oppress the people, and that goes on and on and on and on and on and on without some repercussions. The system in Rwanda has come to an end. You can see it. But while it's coming to an end, it's very necessary that as young people who remain behind, we get to know what to do responsibly. The system is literally rotten from within. And unfortunately, most people are afraid to do anything about it. Because what? You're afraid of being unalived, you're afraid of being jailed, you're afraid of being disappeared. And by the way, disappearing, it's literally a glamorized word of oftentimes being unalived. Because we have gotten on a few instances where people became unalived and they were incinerated so that the body wouldn't be found. All kinds of crazy things are taking place, guys, in 2025, even last year, 2024. And these things really infuriates me when we see it happen. Especially now, you have these young people in their 20s and 30s being prosecuted. Before, they used to say that it was because they were like genocidaires, and then, the age started going, beyond the genocidaires, and now they just don't know what to say. If they don't say that you are a genocide denier, they usually find some other trumped up charges that they have to put on your belt. But guess what, guys? We all have to wake up. We all have to become fearless of these trumped up charges. And we have to literally form that unity, the true unity of the people, so that we can actually decide our better tomorrow collectively. Because that's what's being denied of the people, of the Rwandese people today. And so I want to ask those of you guys who are part of the status quo to literally imagine what's going to happen very soon when regimes are changing. Because the regime is changing, guys. The leadership in Rwanda is changing. There's no question about it. And so is the rest of the Great Lakes. You guys watch and see what's getting ready to happen. And because of these changes that are taking place, it is very imperative that we also get to understand who's in charge and who's going to be in charge, and whose interest is he or she going to look after. Because right now we know that the regime doesn't look after the interests of the people. It looks after the interests of the high payers. They are a very special interest group with stakes in the economics of Rwanda, with stakes in the borrowed money, whose interest has to be literally protected by any means necessary, not the people's interest primarily. And these are the things that we've been saying for several times, that it is crazy that in 2025, you still have foreigners' interest coming first before the people's interest. Seriously, guys. A foreign's interest is literally protected better than a citizen, better than a regular person within the country. And it's just crazy, to say the least. So, guys, given that we don't have so much time, I want to give you heads up for tomorrow. Oh, by the way, guys, yesterday we got hacked. That's why we didn't come live on the social medias. We just couldn't get online. We got hacked yesterday, but thank God everything was fixed, but we were able to to have our lives through other pipes that are now connected with the with the online outlets and stuff. So I want to make sure that you guys understand how imperative it is that you speak up, how imperative it is that you watch out, that you follow what is happening, guys. There's not a single foreigner who's gonna come to your rescue as African brothers and sisters without any interest. For a foreigner to come to your rescue, he or she must have already pre-calculated the interest that they're going to get out of it. And that's why we continuously say we have to fight for our own Gakondo. Because nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody is going to do it for me. It is us who have to do it for ourselves. But we also have to be, had to wisen up. We have to mature, guys. Rwanda is such a small country with a lot of sons and daughters. All of us, we have to share the country. The Great Lakes region is such a beautiful place to be. It's a fertile land with so much instabilities, wars. But we all have to figure out a way to live together in peace, if I may add. And all of that we cannot experience if we literally do not deal with the bottom, with the real issue, not the symptoms, the actual issue that's keeping the people enslaved, that's keeping the people from these horrific situation that they are living today. So guys, since I have to be very respectful to the airtime that we have been given today, I just wanted to let you know what is happening today in Rwanda, especially with Victoire Ingabire, because we feel that we have to come through for her. We have to come through for her. Can you imagine her being denied bail, that she may escape the country, guys? Think about that. From the time she arrived to Rwanda, she's going to escape today because of little trumped up charges. Can you imagine? That woman is beyond brave. She's brave than a lot of these male generals that you see. No matter how much she's being abused, she still is looking after the very best of the Rwandese people, which is something that actually makes me feel something from within me. All the abuses that she has endured, all the abuses that she's enduring right now, all the tortures that she's been going through, and she continuously go through. Guys, today she had like 6+ soldiers guarding her, like she was going to escape. 6 guards guarding her with guns ready to shoot. Imagine. And we are told that that's democracy. Guys, that's called fear. Instilling fear in you, the people, in all of us, so that nobody says anything. It is so crazy that the prosecutor doesn't have anything else to say except we would like to house her for 30 days so that we can make sure that we remind her who's in charge. She's being reminded who is in charge in Rwanda. And you guys can have your own imagination what that means, because some of it we just can talk about it on open air on these channels, but it's bad, if I may put it that way. It is really bad, guys. Let me go. But tomorrow we will have we will literally continue the conversation we have prepared yesterday. I can give you a heads up. We want to talk about the FDLR and M23. Part of what we want to talk about tomorrow is why is it the pretext of FDLR. Guys, seriously, in 2025, you still have FDLR as one of the reasons being that Rwanda has instability. 30 years, 35 years after. Not only that, you have M23 having taken a country or a mass land a landmass bigger than Rwanda 4 times. Yet Rwanda still claims that the FDLR is still causing problems. I'm wondering if M23 is also FDLR. We will talk about that tomorrow, guys. So, because of our little issue technically, guys, I don't have very much time to stay on air right now because we have to switch hats and go in another language. I want to thank those of you who are helping out, especially if you are part of the team that's helping out a lot of these Rwandese people who are being persecuted publicly. I want to give you kudos. And I also want to say that we have solidarity with you guys, because public persecution without cause, except that you are literally being chastised for having a different opinion. Anybody who's experiencing that, anybody who's having such a horrific time because of those issues, guys, we sympathize with you, but we're also with you. We have to learn how to speak up, guys. I'll end it with this. The world is so crazy today, to put it mildly, that an African sons and daughters have to learn how to fend for themselves, have to learn how to protect themselves, have to learn how to live in a world that's forever seeking to unalive them, in a world that's seeking to enslave them forever, for life. This is a reality, guys. We literally are in the world that wants to take over our lives, that wants to take over our inheritance, that wants to take over the whole entire continent, and for us to become modern slaves. The system is already implemented, guys, to enslave Africans in the modern ways. It already started. There is literally today modern slavery within the whole entire Africa. And it is us, the people, who have to literally get rid of this modern slavery. So, guys, there's so much to be said. There's so much to be said. But I want to make sure. That we get to have a proper communication about it tomorrow. Hopefully, guys. Actually, I also want to. Actually, no. Let me not say that publicly. I was going to. Let me paraphrase what I wanted to say. I feel so disheartened every time we have a serious conversation and we get hacked, especially on these social medias, or we get taken off the air. People are afraid of a real candid conversation, guys. Literally, people are afraid of real candid conversation. And when I say people, we're talking about government agencies or third party that are literally stepping up on behalf of these governments. They cannot stand when the people get together to have a candid conversation. Africa, today is the time. We are in a season where we have to have an open, candid conversations amongst all of us, brothers and sisters throughout Africa. We have to become fearless of how these government leaders are handling our business. Our businesses as African sons and daughters is being mishandled by the so-called representatives. So because of that, we have to be bold enough to talk about it. Literally. Otherwise, if we don't talk about it, it is going to ruin all of us. It had already started ruining us. And we want to make sure that we put a stop to, to all of that. So guys, that's it for today. Let me recap what I wanted to talk to you guys about, especially today. In the pre-trial for Ingabire, the prosecutor wants her to be in jail for 30 days. Or at least 30 days. And it has been spoken that on July 18th, a few days from now, it'll be on Friday, that the verdict will be rendered. And the crazy part about all of this, we still have yet to really understand what what she's being charged of. Earlier, it was being said, a lot of trumped up charges have been has been said, especially that she's being accused unofficially or behind the scenes that she has formed armed groups. Can you imagine? And she's been undermining the government. They say that she's been spreading false information which hasn't been produced in court, and hateful propaganda to incite hostile international opinion against Rwanda. Guys, there is a book. I used to have it here. I don't know where it is. I will find that tomorrow. I'll bring it. There is a book on how to successfully how to get rid of government. There is a book that was written, guys. Can you believe that Rwandese people were sent to jail for reading a book? Just like in the slavery days when slaves were found reading, how they would either chop off their arms or unalive them for reading, guys, for reading. Rwandese people today are being imprisoned for reading books about revolution. Part of what Victoire Ingabire is being accused of is to incite people to read books. Think about it, guys. To incite young people to read books about revolution. I'll bring you that book because I got it maybe 2 years ago, and you'll be shocked, guys. On one side it's laughable, but on the other side it's serious, because when you see what people claim to be an issue in the country that claims to be very stable, the government want to police you to the degree they even want to know what it is that you are reading. They want to police your brain enrichment. They only want you to read what they want you to read. Anything beyond what they want you to read, it may literally end up you becoming unalive for that. And that's Rwanda that you guys are not told. You're constantly being shown clean streets, clean roads, and that's it, because of what? The PR. But the real life of Rwandese people is not as rose and glamorous as it's being advertised. So, guys, let me get off here. Since we also have to give up the the airtime for the Kenya Rwanda broadcast. But I literally feel so sad, guys. I feel so sad for our brothers and sisters within Rwanda because of what is happening today. It is literally regrettable, guys. It is so regrettable that you have a nation that claims to be very stable, but its democracy and its human right respect is literally zero. People become unalived, imprisoned, and disappear arbitrarily in so many ways. All because they want real change. How long is it going to take before you demand that real change, guys? That's what I want to leave you with today. But I also want to pass on our condolences to the families of those who are currently being imprisoned. The list is long, guys. Maybe tomorrow we can actually bring as many people as we have listed who are literally in jail today. They've been in jail, and their treatment is beyond what you can imagine. Just the worst kind of a treatment. Especially a lot of these young people who literally have become I need a good word, because the word that I wanted to use, it may make me get flagged on the internet. These young people can no longer have children, guys. They've been beaten so bad to the degree that they can no longer, some of them can't have any children. We're talking about both male and females. That's the kind of torture and abuse that they deal with. Dehumanized on a daily basis. Lastly, it is so sad that the so-called press in the country no longer has the boldness to literally report all that the government doesn't want to see. Today I saw a journalist who, of course, he was a pro-government journalist. He was literally being poetic about how good he is and how he's definitely behind the government, what it's doing. And one of those journalists, he was given access to see front end how Victoire looked like at the pre-trial today. In any case, guys, let me be out of here. But I want you young people to pay attention to what is happening, because what is happening today in Rwanda, it is beyond sad, guys. It is beyond sad. And unfortunately, the majority of people who are either in the middle of it or who are being forced to be in the middle of it, and those who are actually being utilized as pawns, be on the lookout, young people. Be on the lookout. Because today is this other person, tomorrow is you. Remember, they're no longer afraid of you being 20s, in your 20s, in your 30s. As long as you don't speak the language and the narrative that the government wants you to dance with, to sing with, you literally are going to meet some very harsh punishment. And I commend those of you who have decided to speak publicly and to speak openly about what is happening, because somebody's got to do it, and it might as well be us, guys. So with that in mind, guys, let me get out of here. But please pray for this mother, Victoire Ingabire, because her physical health is in danger. She's in danger right now. She's in danger because she's being tortured. She's being abused. And that's not going to stop. You can never get used to abuse, guys. There's no way you can get used to abuse. So the quicker we are able to say stop these abuses and physically hold accountable every single one of the perpetrators, we know their names. By the way, guys, there is something we are bringing very soon called Arusha 2.0. Very exciting. I told you about 4 years ago that every single person who's ever persecuted, who's ever unalived another Rwandese person, or even a foreigner on the Rwandan soil, your day in court is coming. Stay tuned for Arusha 2.0 because it's in the midst of being prepared right now. And a lot of you guys will find yourself there, especially given that the government has never had its day in the first Arusha. Arusha 2.0, they will definitely have a court date. They will definitely have a court date, and they will have to answer for all these actions that they have taken for these past 30 years. And it's also, it would be a remiss if I didn't say that a lot of the foreigners who are helping, you are being an accomplice. We know your names. We are documenting you, and I want to encourage you, sons and daughters of Africa. Those of you who have continued, who are documenting what is happening in Rwanda and in the Great Lakes region, continue to document. Guys, we are going to use those documentation, especially if you have video documentation. If you have video documentation, please preserve that, because we are going to use that in the near future. That day is coming. It is not so far at all. It is not so far at all. And you can be assured a lot of these people will see their day in court in the season coming. So guys, let me say goodbye for now, so that we can give up the antenna so the programs can continue. But I literally want to let you know that we have so much work to do. Those of you guys who are activists, please be bold again. Be bold again and speak up. There's so many voiceless families, individuals who cannot do anything right now. And they rely heavily on fearless brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of Africa, to speak on their behalf until they reclaim their voice. So please be a part of that. Be a part of these sons and daughters who are fearless. Be a part of this army of love of Africa, of love of sons and daughters of Africa. so that anywhere you see a voiceless person, individual, families, you push them up, you uplift them. At the very least, we owe that to ourselves, guys, because nobody else is going to do it for us. So that's it for me, guys. That's it for me. I really don't want to say so much. I had so much to say, but I don't want to mix it, because if I mix it, we're not gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna end up being taken off offline because of eating the airtime. Besides that, really, guys, let's join forces. Let's join forces in saying no to the horrific treatment of sons and daughters of Africa. Let's join arms and let's join forces and say no to the abuse of those imprisoned, the likes of Victoire Ingabire. Because their lives are real, guys. This is not a drama. This is not a made up joke. This is they living a horrific lives. The horrific lives that they are living today reflects a rotten system within the country. And this system has managed to make sure that everybody is silent. And I hope that you do not stand for that, guys. I truly hope that you do not stand for that. So with that in mind, guys, let me be out of here. And I really hope and pray that we can form a unity. We can form a unity and speak on behalf of our brothers and sisters, especially the voiceless. And for Victoire Ingabire, we wish you a speedy recovery. We hope that God only keeps you and protects you, because it has been evident that there are very few good people with integrity who can speak on your behalf from within. Unless you pay such a high price monetary, it appears that nobody wants to touch the freedom. Nobody wants to be associated with you. But there are so many Victoire Ingabires. There are so many Victoire Ingabires who do not have representation, who are being ignored, who are being unalived, who are being disappeared, who are being literally abused and misused day in and day out. We see you, guys. We see you. And we are saying that enough is enough, and soon this is coming to an end. So, guys, thank you for the opportunity to serve you. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you. I want to say thanks. I want to give a huge thanks to organizations that are making this broadcast a reality. This work, it is very hard, and it requires a lot of energy, a lot of resources that oftentimes we don't even have, to be honest with you guys. But we sacrifice our very little resources to make sure that we do not go silent completely. But this work is very tough. But we also know that we become blacklisted on so many other opportunities consequently. And we'd still say we would do it over and over and over and over again. Guys, I am so privileged to be a part of this season that we are in, despite how hard it is, despite what we go through. But I wouldn't have had it any other ways, to be honest with you guys. So thank you for the technical teams. Thank you for the broadcasters. Thank you for the stations that are carrying our voices, that are carrying our images. And we want to say that we are not going to forget you. We also want to say that we are going to make sure that we represent. So with that in mind, guys, let me wish you guys a beautiful day. And hope you guys, you have a great day. Those of you guys who are on our timeline, like in Washington and so on, if you're going to bed, I want to wish you a beautiful evening. If you are waking up, please, I want to wish you a beautiful day as you start your day. And let us not be tired of fighting for what is right, what is just. And let us all be unified as one people and fight over every single entity, including government, that are mistreating us and unaliving our own people. I am Freeman Victoire Ingabire here at AfriDominion. Have yourself a beautiful day, guys. If you're going to bed, have a beautiful evening. And if you're waking up, have a super fantastic day. Until I see you guys tomorrow, peace be with you all.